What is going on, Knicks Nation? And happy game day, baby. Friday night Knicks tonight at MSG. A huge game for the Knicks, taking on the red hot Orlando Magic. Woo! Is this going to be a game tonight? Now, we got some good injury news that we could talk about in today's show. Also, want to get into the chat to get your guys' thoughts about tonight's game. Let me know if anybody's going to the Garden tonight. I kind of want to go, but I don't have anybody to go with. But that's not neither here nor there. The Orlando Magic are really hot right now. They're winners. I believe they're on a huge win streak right now. They are on an absolute win streak. And the worst part about the Orlando Magic that I can't stand is that they have our number this year. They have beat the New York Knicks 3 times, okay? The Magic are on a 5-game winning streak, and they are a half game ahead of the Knicks in the Eastern Conference standings, and this game is going to mean everything tonight. Now, the Knicks have some good injury news. We are expecting Jalen Brunson to return tonight. It's not official yet. He's questionable. It's not 100% confirmed just yet, so I don't want to get everybody's hopes up. But there is some optimism that Jalen Brunson will return. Also, there is some optimism that OG Anunoby could be back as early as next week when the Knicks go on their West Coast trip, as well as Mitchell Robinson is getting cleared for some contact, where Julius Randle is also doing some drills. So the Knicks are getting healthier, and tonight is going to be a game where we can really see the true test of what this New York Knicks team is all about despite the injury. So, folks, don't forget to hit the like button on your way into the show. I greatly appreciate it. This is the Knicks first Orlando Magic preview show on Knicks Media, brought to you by and powered by BetUS Sportsbook. BetUS is a proud sponsor of Knicks Media that you guys can receive a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, up to $2,500 with 10% gambler's insurance. Definitely go check out what BetUS has to offer. You see what the Knicks odds are right now. They are actually 1 point. It's pretty even. I mean, you see the spread at the top right of your screen, really even. Vegas really sees this down the middle for the Knicks and the Magic, as well as his player prop bet of Jalen Brunson's return. Him getting more than 42 points, rebounds, and assists combined. Those odds are at plus 125 on BetUS Sportsbook. We're going to hear a quick word from BetUS.
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook, where you can bet on everything, anytime. Sportsbook, live betting, and casino. To celebrate 30 years in business, we have the best bonuses in the industry. Get a 125% sign-up bonus and up to 30 risk-free bets. So what are you waiting for? Join now. BetUS, where the game begins.
BetUS, where the game begins. Don't forget to hit that link down below in the description to sign up for BetUS today to make your bets on the Knicks tonight. Kelvin's in the chat. I already hit the like button. That's why Kelvin is the OG and the biggest Knicks media supporter on planet Earth. Now, I definitely have a little thing against the Orlando Magic this year for the same reasons why every single Knicks fan does, is because we can't beat them. And they are a team that I feel like came out of nowhere this year. I know that they had a lot of promise, but I don't know if anybody across the NBA expected them to be where they're at right now. They started off the season scorching hot, and then they kind of fizzled out. They kind of came back down to earth, and now they're red hot again. Paulo Banchero is an all-star. He is their dynamic weapon that is absolutely a big-time threat that the Knicks have to be able to contain tonight. But it really comes down to the Knicks not allowing themselves to get swept. I don't want to watch this Knicks team get swept by the Magic. I can't let it happen, especially that we're just a half game behind them, where if we beat the Magic tonight, we leapfrog them in the standings. And since they have the tiebreaker over us, this game is super important because we need to get another game on them in the standings, because if we finish with the same exact record at the end of the regular season, the Magic has the tiebreaker, which means they will have the better seed. So that's the unfortunate reality that we're sitting with right now in this game. Now, guys, don't forget to hit the like button on your way into the show. Love to hear what Knicks fans, what you guys are expecting in tonight's game, because I feel like this is one of those games that the Knicks have to be able to bounce back after that bad performance against the Atlanta Hawks. Now, obviously, Jalen Brunson's return is going to be a big-time impact in the overall scope of the New York Knicks potentially winning tonight. But going back to the Atlanta Hawks game, we were not able to hit our shots. I mean, the three-pointers were just not falling. Dante was ice cold. The Knicks clawed and fought their way back. They tie it up late in that third quarter, and we think, okay, we actually have a chance. Let's go win this game in the fourth. And they ran out of gas, and the Hawks just were able to get the job done. Now, I'm going to give the Knicks a pass there because it's really hard for us as Knicks fans to expect us to win games when we're missing 4 of our 5 starters. And it's a really unfortunate situation that we're in right now. But I feel like the Knicks, with a potential Jalen Brunson return, they can beat anybody still. Keith's in the chat. What do you think is the reason we struggle against them? I've missed all the games versus Orlando this year. Well, last time we versed the Magic, Randall dropped 38, and we still lost. So I don't really know. I feel like the Magic has a really good defensive approach. I really like their defense. The matchups are in our favor, but I just feel like this Magic team is young. They're pesky. They have weapons. They're deep off the bench, and they can beat you in so many different ways, and the Knicks haven't had an answer. So I agree with Kelvin. We got to get off to a fast start. The Knicks are not a team that are able to play from behind and claw their way back. That's not their brand of basketball. Every Knicks fan knows that we are a team that needs to have a lead and protect it, or just be within 5 points at all times, because we like to slow down the pace. We like to play half-court defense and really, make the other team earn every single point, right? And I feel like with Josh Hart's ability to just play his best ball as of late, with Dante DiVincenzo needs to get a little bit more consistent. Precious Achiuwa, he's really good in spurts in games, but we need him to be consistent all 4 quarters. And of course, Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic off the bench with Deuce McBride. Jericho Sims deserves a shout out. He's been playing pretty good minutes off the bench. The Knicks' depth have been tested all this year more than anybody else, and I feel like the Knicks got to be able to get the job done tonight. There's absolutely no excuse. I mean, if Brunson's out, that's the excuse, but I expect him to return, because after this game, we have back-to-back games against Philadelphia, and those teams, the Sixers, the Magic, these are the teams that the Knicks are competing against in the Eastern Conference. And I'm trying my hardest to keep my optimism, keep my hope alive that this Knicks team has what it takes to be able to stay afloat while we're waiting for the return of our guys. So the injury news is overall positive for the Knicks, but not right in this moment. OG's not returning yet. Randall's not returning yet. Mitch is not returning yet. But the good news is OG Anunoby, they said, could be cleared to play for the game against Portland next Thursday night in their first game on the West Coast trip. That is huge, because you plug OG into the starting 5 with Jalen Brunson healthy, and then you would assume Josh Hart would go to the bench for sure, I would think. I don't think they're going to play Hart at the 4. So then Josh Hart comes off the bench, and OG is going to provide a huge defensive presence. The question is OG going to be able to play his best ball right away? Is his three-point shot a little broken because he got his right elbow, had a procedure done? So what is his elbow looking like? What is his shooting form? Is it affecting his shot rhythm? Because OG, let's not forget, was playing great basketball offensively right when he got hurt. He was trending up. He was getting better and better. He was getting more comfortable with this Knicks team. He was coming off that ridiculous game against Denver where he had 6 steals, 20-something points, and we were all thinking to ourselves, oh my gosh, we have a star in the making in OG, and then he goes down with right elbow inflammation and then eventually gets shut down. So definitely unfortunate stuff, and the timing of that injury was really bad. But the good news is he's coming back at a perfect time for him to get enough time and for him to get enough playing time and rhythm to figure out a way to get some momentum heading into April and heading into the postseason. So definitely some good news on OG's injury news. But when it comes to Julius Randle, still feels like a big what if, still feels like it's up in the air. We all have no idea when to expect Julius Randle to return. King Savage is in the chat. I think it's going to take a couple days or maybe weeks for OG to get his rhythm back to what he was doing before the injury. Yeah, that's realistic. I mean, that's unfortunately the truth. Knicks fans have to really swallow a tough pill that we can't expect OG to be back to his old self, even when Julius comes back, the same thing, and Mitch. So they got to figure out a way to stay within themselves and figure out a way as well to hit their shots, bro. Because that Hawks game gave me PTSD from the Warriors game a few weeks back, where no shots were falling. It wasn't like the Hawks were playing great defense. We were wide open, missing shots, clutch shots, wide open threes, okay? So they got to let the shots fall, and that's why I feel like this Knicks team, it's tough to win with the injuries, because this Knicks team isn't dependent on their shots to fall to win games. What I mean by that is there's some games throughout the season that's proven that even if we're not hot, even if we're not playing our best ball on the offensive side, the defense is still good enough to be able to win any single game against any opponent any given night. But right now, the defense isn't playing their best ball because we're lacking our biggest defensive presence. OG, right now, right? When we brought in OG, big-time defense. Mitchell Robinson, of course, when he returns. Julius Randle, he's not the greatest defender, but he plays with high energy. He was a big reason for the defense. So when the Knicks get their guys back, the defense is going to take some pressure off of the offense because I feel like we can't rely on Dante to just go scorching earth every game and hit 6 threes and Boyan to put up 20-plus a night every single game off the bench. Like, that's unrealistic, and it's unfortunately sustainable. This is probably the biggest game of the season right now because of the standings and because of the overall complexity of the Eastern Conference standings right now. Because you look at it, the Knicks are a half game back. They got to get this job done. There's a lot of things that's on the line in tonight's matchup. Now, unfortunately, the Knicks already, like I said, the tiebreakers to the Magic. So it's not like we're playing for any tiebreaker things or anything like that. But again, you look at the standings right here. The New York Knicks are 36-26. We are 4 games back from the Cleveland Cavaliers, 4.5 games back from the Milwaukee Bucks. So it's not that far away. If the Knicks can get some rhythm and win some games, right? Like the Magic, for example, they're on a 5-game winning streak. They really propelled themselves up into the upper echelon of the Eastern Conference standings. The Knicks are not, a team that we can expect them not to go on a hot streak. They did it already multiple times this year. I have a prediction that when we get healthy and we get into the late March, early April, that's when I'm hopeful that the Knicks will go on a little run and figure out a way to separate themselves with the guys in the Eastern Conference standings. Even the Boston Celtics are on a 2-game losing streak. I don't really think that's going to have any impact because you should just clinch the Celtics as the number 1 seed because them being 48-14 is absolutely absurd. But if they fall down to earth, I will not be complaining whatsoever. Now, there is also teams right on our tail. Okay, the Miami Heat, the Philadelphia 76ers, they're both 1 game back from the New York Knicks. And then we have the Indiana Pacers that are 2 game back. Those are the 3 teams below. So it feels like a 5-team race. I mean, you can throw in a 6-team race if you want to include the Cleveland Cavaliers. But between the Cavs, the Magic, the Knicks, the Heat, the Sixers, and the Pacers, all those teams are avoiding the play-in tournament. At least that's their goal. Nobody wants to be in the play-in tournament. Nobody wants to be a 7th or 8th seed. They're trying to avoid that absolute misery. So the Knicks got to be careful here because if we lose tonight, that's going to potentially drop us, especially that we're 1 game back from the Miami Heat. So really, really interesting stuff here about what the New York Knicks are going to look like. Now, I do want to ask you guys a question in the chat. What's your expectations for Jalen Brunson in his return, right? We avoided a huge injury scare. I think we can all agree that when Brunson went down initially against the Cavaliers, our lives flashed before our eyes, expecting the worst. But luckily for us, Jalen Brunson is not out for a significant time. And you see the player prop bet here on BetUS Sportsbook, 42 points, rebounds, and assists combined at plus 125. If there's one thing I know about Jalen Brunson is when he returns from injury, he does not show any signs of rust. I think that's going to hit personally. I like that. But then you look at the other odds in terms of the game, it's split. The Knicks and the Magic are split. I mean, the spread is in the Magic favor at -1, but you look at the money line, the Knicks money line's at -105. So you can tell why it's split down the middle. They have similar records. The Knicks are at home. The Magic are red hot, and they're coming into the Garden. They've beat the Knicks 3 times this season, so it's going to be a very, very interesting game. Kelvin says Josh needs to get aggressive with the shots. He needs to start shooting with threes with more confidence. Josh Hart has been really impressive so far in these last few games, or last few weeks, you can really say, with this three-point shooting, with his scoring. I mean, he was a big reason why the Knicks even had a chance to fight their way back against the Hawks. He was the only one hitting shots. I would like to see Josh Hart get a little bit more aggressive. Find your shot. It seems like you're the only one that has some, offensive ability at this stage of the season, which is terrifying, by the way, because that's not Josh Hart's game. But I feel like Josh Hart needs to continue his momentum. Don't be shy. Attack the paint. Have your little, fadeaways from mid-range. Spot up from three-point land. I like what I'm seeing from Josh Hart a lot. King Savage says, I think Brunson is going to go off for at least 25, 26 points and show no rust. I agree. If there's one thing about Brunson I've learned is when he comes back from injury, you rarely see any rust. Kelvin says, salute, guys. Please make sure you hit the like button. It greatly helps the channel. Absolutely, Kelvin. Remind the people, hit the like button. I appreciate you guys big time. This game is going to be hard for the Knicks. They got to give Shake some minutes. It's going to take a few games for the Knicks to gel. Yeah, I mean, Shake Milton has yet to make his Knicks debut. He is available off the bench. I don't know. I felt like if he was going to play, he would have played last night. I'm sorry, not last night. Last game against the Atlanta Hawks, and he didn't. So, do you guys expect Shake Milton to ever touch the floor? Right, he's too hesitant at time. He needs to just let it fly. Why not let it fly? Yeah, I cannot agree more. I feel like Josh Hart is finding a new level of confidence in himself, and he has to take it and run with it. Don't backpedal. Don't be scared. Let it fly, Josh Hart, because we've all been impressed of the ability of Josh Hart thus far. He's been kind of putting this Knicks offense on his back at times, which is a scary sight because that's not the guy anybody's expecting to carry the load for these New York Knicks. So he has to be able to be aggressive and maybe have to put the team on his back a little bit, bro. Last game, he kept passing to Devo. Devo kept passing it back. Josh was reluctant to shoot when he was open. Yeah, he's got to let it fly, man. And I also feel like I like Dante's volume, but at some point he needs to realize the shot selection needs to be a little bit better. I mean, he is a volume shooter, which means if you're not hitting your shots, you just keep shooting, because eventually they will fall. It's not like his shot's broken or anything, but the volume for Dante is ridiculously high. I don't think it's a problem, but I think that he just needs to, he's kind of the wild card because when Dante has a good night, we usually win. When he doesn't, we lose. That's because of the injuries. We're kind of depending on Dante DiVincenzo to put up 25 plus. That's what we're depending on now. That's pretty bad. And I say that because without Jalen Brunson, he's the number one guy. With Jalen Brunson, he's the number two guy. And when you don't have a guy like Julius Randle healthy, who we were all, I don't know about all of us, but most of us, including myself, were fortunate enough to appreciate Julius Randle's ability to put up 24 a night. We miss that. Do you know how much we miss Julius Randle's 24 points a night and his 10-plus rebounds and his 4 assists and his defense and his efficiency and his ability to take the pressure off of Jalen Brunson? We miss Julius Randle. I can say with confidence, if Julius never got hurt, we would be at least have 4 more wins than we do right now. I genuinely believe that. I think the injury to Julius Randle really threw a rock in the road for the New York Knicks season. And I don't want to be someone that's making excuses and, we're only losing because of the injuries. But, bro, he's an all-star. He's the heart and soul of this Knicks team right next to Jalen Brunson. And when he went down, another thing that we have to realize is that defenses are now just zeroing in on double teaming, blitzing, and shutting down Jalen Brunson. And now he has to adjust. There's no one really next to him that can really take the pressure off of him. There's not. As good as Dante's been, he's been hot and cold. We need someone that's reliable every single night to take the pressure off of Jalen Brunson, and that's Julius Randle. But he's been gone, man. He's been hurt. I think Shake may get a few minutes tonight since the Knicks do need some bench depth at some point. We shall see. I mean, I thought he was going to play last game. He didn't play a minute. What's up, Jonathan? Hopefully we win tonight. We are counting on other results from Miami, Indiana, and Magic. We have to take advantage tonight. Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to eventually get to a point where we're scoreboard watching other teams. I want the Knicks to take care of their own business and get the job done on their own court. So that's really up to the Knicks to do that because I hate when it comes down to the wire and everybody is, we have to do it eventually, right? Looking across the NBA, scoreboard watching, rooting against this team just to help out the Knicks. I think the best case in action is the Knicks to take care of their own business because right now, the Knicks are the controllers of their own destiny. And that's the best place you can possibly be. Only 4 games back from the Cavs, 4.5 games back from the Bucks. They are well in striking distance, but unfortunately, there's guys right behind the Knicks. Right behind that we have to be able to contain. So we shall see. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. Shout out to everybody that's watching live on Twitter and watching us live on YouTube. My name is Richie, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. We greatly, greatly appreciate each and every single one of you guys tuning into the chat. We got 12 likes. I think we could do better than that, baby. Let's manifest a Knicks W and get the job done at home in our home court. I feel like the Knicks have been excellent at home this year. We're coming off a tough loss at home against the Atlanta Hawks. They cannot lose 2 straight games at home. I don't care I don't care what you got to say. Okay, another thing I want to remind the people, don't forget to hit that link that's right now pinned at the top of the chat to open up your account for the proud sponsor of Knicks Media, BetUS Sportsbook. You will receive a 125% sign-up bonus up to $2,500 on your first 3 deposits with code JOIN125. Definitely consider it. You guys see the lines right there. We appreciate that. Keith with the super chat. Thank you so much, Keith. I appreciate you, my man. Dante is great when he's taking shots, good shots. His shots will get better when we are at full strength. He's chucking them up right now. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I was saying, my man. I feel like his shot selection could be improved. His volume is definitely his strength. But at one point, I'm just like, damn, Dante, if you're shooting like this, you got to let it fall, bro. These got to fall eventually, right? The one guy I can't stand is still Alec Burks. Alec Burks, his shot selection makes me want to rip my hair out of my head. Still, I'm waiting for Alec Burks to just break out and find his rhythm, find his own confidence. Where, when will it be? We shall see. So, Keith, thank you so much for the very generous $10 super chat. Can we get some dono hype in the chat right now from my man, Keith? Great Knicks fan, great supporter of the channel. Keith, cannot thank you enough, my man. Really do appreciate you. Really do appreciate you. You guys hearing what Richie's spitting? Nick, my biggest hype man is Kelvin. You're my hype man, Kelvin. I can't thank you enough. I can't wait till we get Mitchie back. Mitchie and OG tandem is going to excel. Bro, that tandem is going to thrive, bro. Cody sees the vision. Cody sees the vision. Okay? The defensive potential with those two, I feel like, is beyond our even wildest expectations. Like, when we brought OG in, the defense leveled up, and that was without Mitchell Robinson. And I really, really think that Knicks fans have forgot how dominant Mitchell Robinson was this season early on before he got hurt. I thought the season was done when he went down, and then Hartenstein stepped in and was playing great. So, you're right on the money, Cody. You're right on the money. So we need this W in the worst way possible. The Knicks are in a situation where we're unfortunately losers of, 3 of our last 7 games we've won. So we're 3-7 in the last 10 games. That is unacceptable, especially when you look at the Magic, 8-2 in the last 10. You look at the teams below us. The Heat, 7-3 in the last 10 games. So there's a lot of teams that are gaining ground on the Knicks while we're trying to get healthy. So if the Knicks can get back on track tonight, bro, and they get the job done, they get back to the 4th seed, we verse the Sixers back-to-back, we have to win these next 3 games in a row or something, bro. I don't really know what else to say. 2 of the next 3 games at minimum. Let's go. I can see Dante having a breakout game tonight. He's due for it, baby. He's due for it. I think that what he brings to the table is that three-point shooting, that three-point arsenal. I mean, he's still one of the leaders in the NBA in three-point shooting, right? So I feel like Dante is the X factor, and when he's on, this Knicks team's hard to beat. But the issue with Dante right now, it feels like he's either hot or cold. There's no consistency. He was on a consistent pace like a few weeks back, but these last few games, come on, Dante. I'm a big fan of yours. Big fan. Don't make me lose my hope and belief in you. Let's go. Burks will be the X factor tonight. Please, I've been waiting every game for Alec Burks to break out. Waiting patiently. Burks, Knicks fans, you're driving us nuts. You're absolutely driving Knicks fans nuts. Can you please wake up and get the job done for us and hit your shots and don't turn the ball over? Don't take bad shot selections. The list goes on and on and on about how Alec Burks needs to improve his game. It's that simple. It really is. Bogdanovich already proved to be a good Knick. Burks, not the case. Guys, we're 3 likes away from 20. Let's hit that like button. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's get some score predictions in the chat right now. Score predictions in the chat for the New York Knicks. What you guys cooking? Let me know right now who you got winning. What's the final score? Are you optimistic in the Knicks' chances tonight, or Do you have some, the Magic got our number. Let me know right now in the chat. Who do you got winning and why? Let me know right now. Notice his minutes has been reducing. Alec Burks' minutes has been reducing. Hopefully that continues. Actually, I take that back. I want his minutes to increase because that means he's playing better. Also got to give a shout out to Deuce McBride. He's been stepping up. He's been stepping up, bro. But we can't rely on Deuce too much. 116 to 108 Knicks. Okay. Do you guys like the over or under to hit? You see the line on BetUS on the top right. 206.5. That's a low score. I think the BetUS is anticipating a low-scoring game. Two defensive-minded teams. Do you guys think it's going to be low-scoring? Or do you like it to hit the over? I mean, this is going to hit the over right here. 116 to 108. 105.95. Okay. I like it. Knicks win. Kareem. Salute Richie. Peace, bro. 106, 102. Shout out to you, Kareem. Appreciate you tuning in, brother. Hope you're doing well. Hope you guys are having a great Friday. The weekend is here, baby. The weekend is upon us. Dante, have to shoot the ball. Don't forget all the minutes he's logged in defense he has to play. Absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying Dante should not shoot. I'm just saying shoot with a little bit more better shot selection. I feel like sometimes he just takes some shots. I'm just like, okay, that's not a good shot. But he hits them at times. You're like, all right, it's justified. It may be justified. So, come on, Dante. We're all rooting for you, bro. We're all rooting for you. He's low-key the most important piece on this Knicks team right now with all the injuries. He really is. Obviously, Jalen Brunson is there, but, bro, we need him to be able to get hot, stay in rhythm, and figure out a way to get the job done for these New York Knicks. So it seems like the Knicks fans in the chat right now are optimistic about tonight's game. And if we lose tonight, I don't know, man. I feel like there's going to be a little sense of panic ripple through Knicks Nation that I hope not. I hope that doesn't happen. It really depends on what happens for sure before I want to say that with confidence. But all Knicks fans know we're all on the same page here. This game is one of the biggest games of the season. If you look at the standings, it will tell you why. Okay? It will tell you why. And I feel like my prediction is that Jalen Brunson returns. He puts up 30+. Dante gives you 20. Josh Hart gives you 10, 10, and 5, or 10, 10, and 9, or a near triple-double. Deuce plays good minutes off the bench. Alec Burks gets the job done. We shall see. We shall see. The Knicks will get the job done. I'm manifesting it, baby. Let's go! Come on, we need some optimism, Knicks fans. Kelvin is on the same wavelength as me. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Dante's volume is way up because he's our best scoring option right now. With the injuries, he'll be better. Yeah. I mean, I'm not complaining with the volume. It just feels like, you know, I watch Knicks games with my dad all the time. And, like, sometimes Dante's shooting too much. He's like, he's got to stop shooting. And I'm like, no, Dad, he needs to keep shooting. When he's a little cold, what shooters do is shoot out of their slump. If you tell a shooter tonight's not your night, don't shoot, then they're never going to get out of it. That's how you break their confidence. To get out of the shooting slump, you keep shooting. Shooters, shoot, let it fly, get out of the funk, shoot like you're hot, even if your eye's cold, and let it all happen. That's how I really view it. So we shall see, though, about everything. So I hope you guys have a fantastic night. It's Friday night Knicks at MSG. I'm sure the Garden crowd is going to be packed and loud. Let me know if anybody's going. We're going to wrap up the show here, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out of the show. Big shout out to the proud sponsor of Knicks Media, BetUS Sportsbook. Don't forget to click that link at the top of the chat to open up an account today to really, really support the channel. Cannot thank you enough. Big time for all the support here on Knicks Media. I will catch you guys later. Enjoy the weekend. And let's hope we can get the job done, because then we got back-to-back games against Philadelphia that will decide it all. Peace out to everybody in the chat. Salute to Knicks Nation. And we'll see you next time. Peace. Appreciate all the love in the chat.